It is Monday. The final week of the NFL regular season is upon us. Where did it all go so fast? But that's not just the only thing. The playoff pictures are taking shape. We got to talk the college football playoff round 2 this week. We got to talk about a bowl game that set off a lot of people. Oh, by the way, we have a new king of the NFC East, and it is our Philadelphia Eagles. So do us a favor, kick back and relax because the final episode of 609 Sports Talk for 2024, it starts right now. And welcome in everybody back to another edition of 609 Sports Talk, live here on Facebook and of course on YouTube. We are coming to you guys live from Hamilton, New Jersey. Of course, this is the show that ignites fans and always ignites debate. And as always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson. He is Tyler Adams. Mr. Adams, once upon a time, back in about mid-August, we decided to come back to this very place that we know and love, known as 609 Sports Talk. Can you believe that we are here at the end of 2024 with episode 24?
Man, the stars are aligning.
It has been a great run since coming back. And real quickly, before we get anything into the show, we just want to say, once again, we hope you all had a Merry Christmas with your families. We hope everyone had a great holiday. We want to thank all of you who have been back with us since we started back in August. All the original followers, Georgie, Haley, Matt, Brian, Orlando, all the new ones that have come around, Carol, Alyssa, Clint, you've been here for both runs, so you too, Zolt, Anthony, all the GOATs. But however, unfortunately, we both got some very sad news last week. So first off, for anybody who has been an original 609 follower, you guys will remember somebody in the comments by the name of Tony, or as I called him, Big Guy. And even sometimes we called him Big Tony. Tony was a friend of Tyler and I. He was a very big supporter of 609, and unfortunately, we were made aware last week that Tony had passed away last month. We had not heard from him, and we had found out last week that he had passed away the week of Thanksgiving. So I just would like to say that for Tony's family, my thoughts and prayers and condolences are with him and his family. And Tone, I know you're up there. You're always going to be in the house. You're always going to be watching us from above. And yesterday, my friend, was for you because your Eagles are NFC East champs. Tyler, would you like me to kick it over to you real quick?
Rest easy, Big Tone.
We're going to miss them. So now, this episode, of course, will be dedicated to Big Tone. We love him, and we miss him. So this episode is for you, big guy. I hope we do you proud. We got a lot to talk about, Tyler.
Where do we start?
We got college football playoffs round 2. We're talking about that later on in the show. We're talking a certain guy spitting out the freaking bowl game second half. I don't even know. I don't know what's going on with that. We'll talk about it. We'll talk playoff picture because the AFC is basically set. And then, of course, we'll talk about the NFC as well. That's getting kind of routed up here. But the first thing on the docket, Tyler, there is a new sheriff in town. The Philadelphia Eagles are the 2024 NFC Eastern Division champions. They dominated the Cowboys yesterday, 41-7 behind the legs of Saquon Barkley, Vic Fangio's defense, and of course, double quarterbacks. Which, by the way, the Cowboys made history, the first time ever to lose to a team twice in a year, but to lose to 3 quarterbacks. So that's some history there the Cowboys make. Congratulations, Jerry Jones. Keep owning the Cowboys. We love you for it. It's one of the things I'm thankful for this year. That, the Giants not valuing Saquon Barkley, and of course, Dolphins players hating Vic Fangio. Saquon Barkley also made a bit of history yesterday, becoming the 9th running back in NFL history to succumb to 2,000 yards. Now, we'll get to the game. We'll get to how the Eagles got to this point of being NFC East champs. But the big question is, do the Eagles start Saquon Barkley on Sunday against his former team, the New York Giants, to give him the chance to break the all-time rushing record? Mr. Adams, the floor is yours.
Well, Sam, I just want to start by saying sorry. You're not going to get too much talking on this topic here. But I also want to say happy Victory Monday to everybody.
Absolutely.
We skipped the week. It's all right. It's all right. We're back. But the question that I've had you asking me, other people asking me, should Saquon play on Sunday? My answer is pretty simple. It should be his decision. He shouldn't be forced by the team to sit or to play. It should be his decision. The coaches should go up to him and be like, hey, we all know you're close to the record. Do you want to play and try and get it, or do you want to sit out? Now, I don't know what decision he's going to make. On one hand, yes, it would be awesome for him to break a record that's been standing for decades. That'd be great. A player in his first year for the Philadelphia Eagles, for our team, to set that record, to etch his name in the history books as a part of our team as well. And to make it even better, like we said, the stars were aligned earlier, episode 24, ending 2024. Saquon Barkley would get to break the record against the team that refused to pay him in the offseason. I mean, you can't write a book any better than that. But at the end of the day, whatever decision Saquon Barkley makes, I totally understand it. The other side of the crystal ball is you play in the game. Anytime you play, you risk injury.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of starters resting against the Giants because the game is meaningless. We have the number 2 seed. It's not going to change, win or lose. So, I mean, at this point, the only reason he plays is if he wants that record.
And real quickly, some people still don't understand this. Let me explain this carefully, just real quickly. Now, all our fans understand, but there are people that are like on Twitter, they don't get it. The NFC North matchup next week, it doesn't matter who wins. The loser cannot jump anybody else. You cannot not be a division winner and be a top 4 seed.
Yeah.
Just so people understand that. So the Vikings win next week. The Lions cannot be ahead of the Eagles, and vice versa. People need to understand that. You can't be a wild card and be a top 4 seed. That's not how it goes. It should be, because there's going to be a team that barely wins 9 games be a division winner, but that's not our fault that the NFC South stinks.
Yeah. And it's not our fault that this is the way that the NFL playoffs are set up. Maybe they'll address it one day in the future, but as it currently stands, that's just how it's going to go. So, Sam, do you have any thoughts on Saquon?
Yeah, I think that our fans type too damn fast. Oh, my God. Hold on. First off, I don't know what Anthony was saying about I guess that's a Christmas joke.
It must be a Christmas joke.
I hope it is. Carol saying sorry about Tony. Thank you, Carol. We appreciate you. Matt is saying start Saquon Barkley. Okay, so Matt, we know where Matt stands. Carol says, "Oh my God, look at our Eagles! Every single one of them. It's a fun day." Matt saying start Hurts on Sunday.
That's something else that I agree with on that front. If Hurts is cleared, I don't want to see him on the bench the entire game. I at least need to see him 1 or 2 quarters out on the field. Just show me that there's no rust. Let him get some gameplay in before the playoffs. I don't need him missing 2 weeks before the playoffs.
I'll disagree with that. Carol, of course, says happy victory Monday. Matt once again says they do need to start Hurts if he's cleared. Georgie's in here saying, of course, the NFL won't change anything. George, that's not a surprise. They don't want to change anything. Matt says, Tyler, is that a Penn State Barkley shirt? Damn right it is.
It is.
We may have went to a Penn State game this year. Just maybe.
Oh, yeah.
George said if Barkley wants it, he will play. If he doesn't, then no starters next week at all. I agree. And Matt says give them a half. Okay, so here's my thing on this. I understand the people. I'll disagree with that. Here's where I'm at with this, okay? I am 100% with people that want Saquon Barkley to break this record. I think it's the coolest thing ever. I get that. However, just answer me this question. What parade do I get with a rushing record?
It's not a matter of what we want. This is literally a matter of what he wants solely. Because, yeah, he gets the rushing record. That's a personal achievement. The glory, you can give, props to, your offense, your coaches, your offensive line. It's an individual accolade for himself. We don't have to celebrate over it.
He will never acknowledge it without giving props to his own.
I know.
He has never one time this year. Every interview you watch him take, he has never one time not mentioned the five guys up front, not mentioned Jeff Stoutland. Also, he had a chance, and this is where it comes into play. What I think he will do. He was offered in the first Giants game to break his personal record, and he said, "Let the young guys go eat." Saquon Barkley is not here. I don't think Saquon Barkley will. I mean, yes, I think he'll want it. They're going to have to, if they want to try to start the half off with these guys, that's fine. You want to get these guys a couple plays here to keep them fresh? I'm cool with that. But if we're like midway through like the second quarter and he's not even near it, then we're done. You guys are done for the day. Yeah, I am not risking somebody getting hurt for a record. I don't care about the record.
You don't want to force feed him. Like let him play the half, see how it goes. If he gets it, cool. If he's really close going to the third quarter, okay. But if we get into a territory where just somehow the Giants just really are playing out of their minds, they don't want him to get this record, and he's only averaging like 2-3 yards on the ground. I don't want him to get force-fed the ball. And I don't want him to be tired out prior to the playoffs starting. And I don't want him to risk getting injured from all those carries either, just to try to get him that record.
Yes, because remember, Saquon has carried the ball a lot this year.
He has.
He is. So I don't want, like I said, I understand the record's cool. But with this team, the goalposts have been moved. We didn't know what we were expecting coming into the season, even with Saquon Barkley and that high-powered offense. We didn't know what this team was going to be. Did anyone expect Vic Fangio to turn the worst defense in the NFL into one of the top 3 units in the game? Heck no, we didn't expect that.
Nope.
Did we expect Saquon Barkley? I think we all expected Saquon to have a good year.
Oh,
Did we expect him to be the MVP of the league in that discussion? I don't think we did.
No.
If anything, we would have been talking about Jalen Hurts.
My honest predictions for him this year on the team, I saw like maybe 1,500 yards. I didn't ever imagine he was just gonna go off like he has for us. And yeah, Matt's right. Like when you just mentioned when he pulled himself and didn't want to get that individual his career best rushing total. I get that. It's definitely a little different being an all-time NFL record.
Yeah. And I'll
then
rebut this. I understand you don't get a chance at this. You also don't get a chance to be playing in the final game of the season in February either.
Exactly. Like he is a massive piece to this offense and this team's total success. Now, not taking anything away from the defense, because the defense's outstanding play has been their saving grace the whole year, pretty much. And then I like what Georgie said.
Real quickly, he gave him and Hurst gave the whole O-line custom golf carts for Xmas. He totally is about the O-line, but he could have stayed in the game longer. He pulled himself in the third. He could have gotten a lot closer.
So he did pull himself. It was in the fourth quarter, though. He did start off the fourth quarter, and I think it was around the 10-minute mark when they were like, okay, it's definitely a done deal. And then I think that's when he got that last big run that put him at 101 yards away from the record. And then that's when he said, yeah, I'll stay out the rest of the game.
And Georgie's saying that he thinks he's happy with just 2,000. Because I'll tell you right now, from what he sounded, not Saquon, AJ sounds like he ain't playing next week.
Oh, I mean, I don't blame him. AJ has been playing through some injuries. I don't think AJ's been 100% really the whole year. I think he's been battling.
He hasn't been 100% since week 1.
Yeah, he's just been battling these little nagging injuries the whole season. But he's a trooper and he's going. But yeah, I think he'll definitely rest.
Do we remember
Smitty might depend. I don't know. Smitty looked perfectly fine after getting that wrist taped up early in the game.
You want to talk about a redemption? Because I'll tell you now, I was upset with him. A lot of people were upset with them. That drop against Washington, he heard it.
You know, Sam, there's a video I saw after I think our show last week, once we talked about it. And the person said, don't be surprised if when Saquon dropped that 4th and 2 ball that would have won us the game against the Falcons and he went off after that. They said, don't be surprised if Devontae Smith goes on a tear after that as well.
Yeah, and if his arm was about 3 inches longer, he would have had 3 touchdowns. So Matt said he predicted that Saquon would have possibly gotten 2K. I think I was around 1,800 maybe.
Okay.
Just real quick. What's up, Tim? Now that is an appropriate person to talk to right now.
What's up, Tim?
Tim saying Happy Victory Monday. My guess is that Saquon will play, but Sirianni will have him on a short leash. I could see that. Dalton, what is up, my friend? Our friend from the 302 Birds. Dalton, I saw your CJ Gardner-Johnson pick 6 live video that you had. That was freaking awesome. Tyler, I'll have to go show it to you after the show.
Send me that.
He literally took a video and caught the pick 6.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Dalton, did you lose your voice, by the way? That's all I'll ask. Did you lose your voice by any chance? Because you was going crazy. And Georgia said the Giants GM did get fired, right? He will be for sure. Oh, after I fire everybody after yesterday. If I'm the owner, I'm like, I let the best player on this team walk to Philadelphia, have an MVP type season. I picked a $40 million quarterback that stunk over him. He did not make it through the season. I'm trying to tank to get the number 1 overall pick, and you guys decide to score 45 freaking points? The Giants find a way to screw up everything.
Yeah, they're almost like the Jets.
No. I think they have officially. Now, no, Clint, George, Adam, guys, I'm sorry. But this is Cleveland Browns before Baker Mayfield stuff.
Oh.
This is Cleveland Browns before Baker Mayfield stuff. The Giants find a way to screw up everything now. They could have had Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, and now they don't. Now they're going to be stuck with Drew Lock.
I would. Hey, let's go back a few years through the drafts, right? We've seen some
Why?
good quarterbacks fall to like the bottom of the top 10, early teens. Now, I don't think
Uh
this
huh.
quarterback class is that deep for that to be
This
the
class
case. But
is
I'm just
not deep.
saying, the first taken off the board isn't always the best.
We're learning that right now.
We're learning that right now.
We are learning that
There's
100.
there's one that 100% is better, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get to it later in the show. And the other guy is definitely better than said Caleb Williams.
You can make the case that there are 3 guys better than him in his draft class.
Maybe Drake May too. Yeah, you could argue it.
Drake may have looked good.
Yep. And hey, what Penix just did?
We're gonna talk about. We're gonna get those rankings out next week. I'm not there yet, so I want to save that for next week. But there's definitely. I'll tell you right now, one guy was laughed at for being taken on night 1 of the draft, and he's proven everybody wrong. And I'm not talking about Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, I knew Jaden Daniels was a stud. I knew he was going to be a stud. I knew it from the moment I watched him at LSU. So Jaden Daniels was the guy. We said it we watched that whole draft. George is our witness. I said it. Jaden Daniels has the potential to be better than Caleb Williams. And he is. Right now, he is. And remember something. Jaden Daniels doesn't have Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. He's not Terry McLaurin. That's it.
Yep.
I'm kind of mad that Zacchaeus remembered how to play football this year for the Commanders, but it's okay. I'm not mad.
Right?
Look at Zach Ertz, career 3 surges this year for the old man. I love Zach. Real quick, let me catch up on some of these comments. Anthony said the way your coach thinks he's going to mess up, watch because of it. All right. Anthony, what are we talking about here?
I don't know what we're talking about either. I don't know the context of that. Anthony, if you could please clarify for us.
Got Steve Roth in the house. What's up, Steve? I know we're all happy today. Everyone's happy. Yeah. Happy Birds family. Whoa, what the?
Wow. Okay.
Hey, that actually showed up. Comment that big that I have to.
Yeah, and it doesn't cover the whole thing. It doesn't show the whole thing.
Oh, thank you, Tyler. Read that comment. Tyler, read that comment. We can't put that.
Current draft order for the NFL with 1 game left to go. The Patriots currently would hold the number 1 pick with a 3-13 record. The Titans would hold the number 2 pick. Cleveland Browns would hold the number 3 pick. The New York Giants would hold the number 4 pick. Jacksonville would hold the number 5 pick. Carolina would hold the number 6 pick. The New York Jets would hold the number 7 pick. Raiders, number 8. Bears, 9th. And Saints, 10th.
Interesting.
Do you want to do a little hypothetical where top players could land for the top 5 at least?
Travis Hunter is going to the Patriots.
That's what I was thinking.
You have to get Drake May a guy. And I know, like I said, I never said, first of all, let me say this. I never said Travis Hunter wasn't a good football player. I never said
he's not the Heisman. That's all.
He's not the Heisman. That's what I said. He is still, and I think he's a way better wide receiver than he is a defensive back. I think he's going to be a really good wide receiver. And this is my point. Now, I want to get to another comment real quick before we get to this. Also, real quick, Zolt's in here. What's up, Zolt?
Yep. And you
Zolt,
know,
as we
read the comment first.
Yeah, he said sometimes it's the guy coaching the guy. I'm not giving up on Caleb, but at some points, right, you're going to see something that says, "Oh, okay, that's it."
I would just like to say, for Sam Darnold, what did I tell you when we started back on the show?
What's the most dysfunctional freaking
organization? I told you I'll believe it when I see it. I wasn't sold on him. I said it's possible that he might be able to do something, but I said I'm not sold on it. will believe
He's
it
doing
when I
something.
see it. He proved me wrong. I admit that I was wrong about him. Sam Darnold, under the right coaching in the right situation, he has had a career year. But Williams, it's going to be tough because I think Caleb Williams' only success either comes with them getting the perfect coach for him or him not being on the Bears, because the Bears just seem to not be able to find the right coaches.
And I understand with that. First off, I understand that he is the most sacked quarterback since David Carr, and that takes a physical toll on your body. Welcome to the NFL, kid. You play the position that they want to hit the most.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, let's not act like in college he wasn't, an amazing scrambler. That's how he made most of his plays in college, scrambling out of the pocket.
And I understand, like I said, I understand that their O-line is putrid. And if they don't go out, if they don't spend minimum free agency, minimum $100 million on that O-line, I wouldn't even bother watching them next year. They don't need anything else. They got the weapons. Excuse me. They have the defense. They don't need anything else. You have got to solidify that offensive line before Caleb Williams in 2 years is Rex Grossman. That's how much you're going to get this man hit. But the problem is with Caleb, even when you have shit offensive line play and you don't have weapons, I got to see something, right? Tyler, heading into the season, okay? Mm-hmm. Would you agree with this? Caleb Williams has better weapons than Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May.
Well, you're talking obviously from college, better stats.
I'm talking right now. Jaden Daniels has one very good wide receiver, and that's Terry McLaurin. The rest of their guys, they're okay. And I'm not knocking the Commanders. I'm not saying this is how good Jaden Daniels is. Bo Nix's number one wide receiver is whatever's left of the corpse of Cortland Sutton. And Drake May is throwing to a guy whose nickname is Pop. I don't even know a Patriots wide receiver anymore. I have seen something special from all three of those guys.
Yeah.
Especially Jaden Daniels. I've seen it from him since the Bengals game when he outdueled Joe Burrow, who, by the way, could be in the MVP talk if he gets Cincinnati to the playoffs. I've seen Drake May with no weapons whatsoever, and probably just as bad as an offensive line. The Patriots' offensive line is not good. And I have seen it from Bo Nix, who just went toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow as well on the road as well. And yes, he lost, but I still see it. He's got the Broncos positioned to be in the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. I haven't seen a damn thing yet from Caleb Williams that says, wow, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, just his stats from this year.
Anthony, what I'm saying is, I'm saying how special Jaden Daniels is. Because, Anthony, outside of Terry McLaurin, you could replace all those weapons with something a little bit better. Outside Terry McLaurin. I think we could agree there, right?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Brian Robinson's a good running back. Is he a top 10 running back? Probably not.
I mean, Zach Ertz has had a good year, but he's past his best days.
Like you said, outside of McLaurin, who's their number two? Is it Luke McCaffrey? Zacchaeus?
Or Noah? No, it's them and Noah Brown, but Noah Brown's hurt right now.
So, I mean, he's not working with a bunch of weapons around him. I mean...
Now, give Jaden Daniels, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift, and Rome Odunze, and DJ Moore.
Yeah, but then you also can't just say you could throw Jaden Daniels in Chicago and he'd be having the same year, because he would
say that.
I know, but
I didn't say that.
I just want to put that out there.
Okay, but also you're talking about Caleb's mobility. We ain't got to question Jaden. Jaden's about to run for 1,000. He's so close. He's like 800 something. He probably won't get it, but real quickly, Georgie said a little bit ago that the Patriots will go wide receiver, Titans and Browns will go quarterback. Knowing the Patriots, they won't take him. The Patriots won't take Travis Hunter, no, my luck. And then Zolt says, you can have Jerry Rice, but if you're getting hit before the ball hits your hands, it doesn't matter. Yes, but he's had chances to make plays even without the offensive line being terrible, and he doesn't. I just don't see it still. But now, all right, now Zolt, to be fair, Robinson does have a tandem partner. He does have Austin Eckler.
His tandem partner's on the IR. That's the only issue.
Yeah,
and
that's
he's
the problem.
missed like a handful of games with concussions, hamstring injuries.
Eckler's a big part of their game, of their offense.
He is. He expands the passing game even more. So, I mean, it's impressive. They're still doing good without him. They haven't had him in over 4 or 5 weeks now, maybe longer.
Really? But that's all I'm saying. I don't see it with Caleb Williams yet. I understand. I've seen guys have terrible O-lines, no weapons, but I at least see what I'm getting, right? I don't see it with Caleb.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're telling me if they don't pick the perfect coach that they don't see it in him, then you're not worth the number 1 overall pick. There is one guy, and I'm sorry, Bears fans, Pete Carroll's not saving you either, so knock that off.
No. Oh, speaking of coaches, oh my gosh, before I forget this, saw the most outrageous thing today that Rex Ryan is actually going to sit down with the Jets about their head coaching position. I was just like, I don't know if Rex Ryan's going to be the one to fix that.
Yeah, no, I want it. I want to laugh for another 6 months. What a disgrace they are.
If that actually happens, that's ridiculous. Like, I get it. Rex Ryan is probably the only coach who actually brought some success to that team in the past how many years?
15?
But this team is so far gone, he's not going to come in and be the one to fix it.
Did you see the Sauce Gardner thing?
No, I didn't.
He commented something complimenting T. Higgins on Instagram, and somebody said to him, recruit him to the Jets, and Sauce Gardner replied, I will not do that.
No, Sauce is like, I want to go to the Bengals.
They want no parts of that organization.
Nope. Georgie just confirmed he was actually serious.
Oh, my God. Please do it. Please, Jets.
Wow.
Please, Woody Johnson. Please. Woody Johnson and Jerry Jones would make great pen pals.
You know what? I wonder if Woody Johnson's kids, they went and played some old Maddens and they saw Rex Ryan coaching and they were like, oh, my gosh. We might win some games with this guy. Let's bring him back. Why did we get rid of him?
Hold on. Wow, Rex Ryan was here. Darrelle Revis was a 90. Antonio Cromartie was an 86. Hold on. His 19 kids were all 90s. Holy crap.
Oh, my God.
Oh, we are off to a great start to this show. We are off to a great start. But let's talk about the Eagles again real quick for a few minutes here. Let's talk about how we got here. We'll see what happens next week with Saquon and the rest of the starters. If they don't want to play, they're not going to play. If they want to play a little bit to keep the rust off, that's fine. I think Jalen has to play just so we don't go 3 weeks without football. We can't do that. We need Jalen to be ready. So, but let's talk about this. How did we get here? Because, when we started doing Birds of the Gridiron back in March, that feels like a lifetime ago. And then, we took a couple weeks off in the summer. Then we came back to 609, started doing this again. I never thought – I knew what the offense potentially could be. I knew what they could potentially be. I knew we had an offense that could score with anybody. You know, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts.
Dallas
And let's
Goedert,
go
if
back
he's
to,
ever healthy.
is he alive?
I'm sorry, Grant Calcaterra could he could be
Well,
our new number one.
Well, okay, so it sounds like from what I've heard is that Goddard is healthy, but they're not going to activate him until after next week because they need roster spots for guys to play for the Giants game. So Goddard is going to be back for the playoffs. So you get stronger, you get healthier, get as many guys healthy as you can. So Goddard's going to be back, Jalen will be back, and then we're ready to roll this thing. All right, so let me respond to this. Vrabel, I love for the Raiders. I think he turns the Raiders around if he's the coach there.
Yeah.
The Jets, it's another Robert Saleh, and the Bears, give me a break.
It's another Eberflus.
He's way better of a coach.
He's way better than Eberflus, but
one thing I'll say, Vrabel does do well with picking coaches. He did take an offense led by Ryan Tannehill to the 1 seed one year. And that's because he hired the right guys around him. So Vrabel maybe not a terrible pick, but again, that's not what the Bears need. You need to you need to call the minute the season's over and call Ben Johnson and say, I don't care what you want to do. Here's a blank check. What do I write on this? Like, that is what they have to do. It ain't going to work, but because if I'm Ben Johnson, I ain't leaving Detroit. I don't care if I'm just the OC forever. I'm not leaving that situation. I got Jared Goff playing the best football of his life.
Yeah.
So, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Vrabel should get another head coaching job. I thought he was going to get one this round, but he ended up not. So, we'll have to wait and see with that. But just going back to what we're talking about here, I did not envision being in this situation right now. So I just said it. He shouldn't leave Detroit. I just said it again. He's not. His best career decision is to not leave Detroit until something.
Do you want him to stay?
Yes, he wants him to stay.
Why is he upset?
Well, that's like
that you said that.
Because I said
about
that
the blank check.
Yes, he told me to shut up because I said the Bears would offer him a blank check.
Okay. He's upset about the blank check.
Well, that's like me. I'm hoping that Vic Fangio doesn't decide to retire after one season.
I hope not, because Vic Fangio, I already know he doesn't want to be a head coach. He wants to be in the Philly area, near his family. I hope he doesn't retire.
And I don't want to lose Kellen Moore either.
No, I don't. But there might be some teams out there that come knocking for him.
You can't keep going. Even though it's head coach hires, you lose guys. You can't keep cycling through guys.
Yeah.
You got to try to keep something here, and we have got to do our best to keep these two here.
Mm-hmm.
Because this team is in a great position right now. They are a Super Bowl contender again. This is not an NFC East contender. This is a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah. That elite play on the defensive side of the ball.
So let's talk about how we got here, for a second. We're talking last year, meltdown, blown out by the Bucs in the playoffs. Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat. We don't know what's going to happen. What do? They weather the storm. They calm everyone down. They bring in Fangio. They bring in Kellen Moore. All right, Nick, no excuses now. These are the guys helping you run the show. No excuses. They go out and get easily what is the best running back in football right now.
The best running back in football, yes.
Real quick, I could see this happening. Ben Johnson going to Miami.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, Zolt, but I could see it. But then again, I look at a quarterback who may not be able to play in 2 years, so I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, Tua's reliability is a major issue.
He's hurt right now.
Yeah, I know. They're back to freaking, what's his name? Huntley?
New Huntley. Thanks a lot for screwing the Von Aitken up for me, McDaniel, you jerk. Anthony said Bears don't need to give Ben Johnson a blank check. Give the man a blank paper saying, write your own contract. I will call plays for Detroit still while here.
Oh my gosh! If we play Detroit, whenever we play Detroit, I have to let them win.
I will have NFL Red Zone on my iPad watching the Lions game. Oh my God! Oh, George, God,
George, I'm sticking to it. To the Raiders.
All right, so Zolt said he's okay with Ben Johnson going to the AFC.
Because if the Raiders are smart, they know that the quarterback class this year is not the strongest.
It's not.
The Raiders have already been struggling for long enough. What's another year? Go out and give Kirk Cousins a 1-year deal. They'll probably have to give him like 1 year, $30 million or something crazy. Probably will. It's either that or run it back with Minshew. Ain't nobody wants to see that.
Aiden O'Connell is better than Gardner Minshew at this point.
Yeah, he probably is. I think the Raiders overpay for a 1 year on Kirk Cousins.
I hope not. I really hope they don't.
But then again, if they do that, they may not be in a position to have a top 10 draft pick. They might find themselves in like a 500 situation to where they're like picking like in the teens.
Yeah. And just so everyone knows this, for the quarterbacks this year, Quinn Ewers, if he comes out, is not Bo Nix. Just so you all know this. Quinn Ewers stinks.
Quinn Ewers could be a good game manager.
Quinn Ewers is going back to college.
Don't see him as a franchise quarterback. Not at all.
Oh, God. What are you guys doing to me with this? They hate Will Levis that much?
Dang. Yeah, I think they hate Will Levis that much.
If I was a Titans fan, I'd hate Will Levis that much. Will Levis
Tennessee's definitely in the quarterback market.
All right, Tyler. So let me ask you this, right? You know, last year when the Eagles were 10-1, they were winning football games. They were barely winning these games by a possession. They were squeaking out wins. We were having heart palpitations every week. When this season started, it was not great. You know, beat the Packers by 5, which, okay, Packers are a good team. Yeah. Heartbreaking loss to Atlanta. I think if Atlanta came to Philly again, I think we're rolling them with no problem. Then you have the barely getting by the Saints. Now you had nobody. AJ was out. Devontae was knocked out.
Yeah, but it was the first actual dominant showing of our defense.
Yes, and that was when the Saints were the best show on turf, I was told. 2-0, 90 points. And then exactly what I told you all would happen happened.
You were right. I gotta give you credit on it. You called it. I said you were absurd.
But now look, it doesn't help them that Carr got hurt, Kamara got hurt, Rashid got hurt, Olave got hurt. Like, everybody got hurt.
Everyone got hurt. Yeah, hey, they even lost their Swiss Army knife, Sam. Taysom Hill. Your favorite.
I hate Taysom. But now, then you have, of course, what was the blowout loss to the Bucs. Kyler, when did this season turn around for you?
After the bye week. There's no hesitation. I think that's got to be almost everyone's pick. You saw the way they started off the year. People were worried. They started off 2-2. I always said that early bye week was going to be the best thing for them because they looked like they didn't have their identity. No. In all 4 of those games. They didn't have their identity. Now, granted, A.J. Brown missed. He played week 1 and missed the next until he didn't play until after the bye week, right? So he missed the next 3 games. He was out for like about 4 weeks because of the bye week. He came back. So you were down him. They had to retool. Oh, look, you have the best running back in football. Maybe let's run the football more and go back to 2022 when we ran the football well. We were one of the best running teams in the league. That's how you control games. That's how you drain the clock. And they went back to that, and they not only matched that, but they exceeded that expectation tenfold.
So, I agree. Now, Georgie makes a good point, and I'm actually going to agree with George here. To me, the turning point of the season, right, was actually the Bengals game. Let me explain why, okay? So, all right, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, George may remember this. I believe the Browns game was our last Birds of the Gridiron post-game show.
I believe so.
They beat them by 4. And remember, that was the one where Nick was apparently chirping at the crowd after the game. And I was like, all right, you beat the Browns by 4. Whoopie-doo. And that's when I went on my tirade. I'm like, can we just have 1 week where I can exhale after the third quarter saying, all right, this game's over? Just 1 game is all I wanted. Well, so you beat the Giants 28-3. You boat raced them. Okay, it's the Giants. And I can comfortably say that now. It's the Giants, because it is the Giants. The Giants will be in the basement in this division for the next 5 years. Dallas is not that bad. Dallas, at least next year, will come in with healthy Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. Rico Dowdle has been looking pretty nice these past few weeks.
Yeah, he's over 1,000 yards. They've
got Turpin and Tolbert. They got some speed on that side. And Ferguson, if they get that offensive line right and the defense healthier, Dak may come back next year and be a pain in our behind again.
If Dak can actually,
That is true. But I think right now, long term, it's Philly and Washington for the next at least 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Washington's going to be they got a stud, man.
Dallas at the worst, they're like a 500 team, slightly sub 500 team.
Yeah.
The Giants are like a 2-3 win team.
Oh my God! Why is Kirk Cousins the star of the show right now? Oh my God! But the reason the Bengals game was my turning point, and I'm looking at the schedule right now, I'm like, damn, we just went in there, and we didn't just beat Joe Burrow. We shut that whole mother effer down.
He probably had one of the worst games of the season against us.
We held the Bengals to 17. I don't care what the Bengals' record is. Their offense is one of the best in the league. Chase Brown, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. But also, and then, all right, Jacksonville, you tweak that one out. And then I was feeling like, we're back to this again. Then you go to Dallas, blow them out. Then you beat the Commanders. But the real big stretch was beating the Rams, Ravens, Steelers, and the Commanders. And that stretch. Because that's like, you don't beat any good teams. That's 4 good teams right off the rip I just named.
Yep. 4 playoff teams.
What's up, Clint? Please walking his agent. Oh my God. Talking Kirk Cousins' agent. But also, like you said, when they found their identity is when they became dangerous. When Saquon Barkley started running rampant all over the league. But a big also thing was defensively, when they named Cooper DeJean the starting nickel corner. And we have not seen Avonte Maddox since.
Yeah. I think that was a huge turning point for the defense. Like the defense, they were playing solid most of the year. Cooper DeJean's finally ready to go. They put him in there.
Yeah.
And he honestly, I feel like it's tough. I feel like CJ is definitely the vocal piece of the defense and the captain of that defense. I feel like Cooper DeJean's like the heartbeat of that defense.
Yeah. Because when you're a quarterback and you're looking, I'm sorry, I understand he gave up his first touchdown 2 weeks ago and his second one yet. No quarterback, I don't care who you are, no quarterback is going to consistently try to test Darius Slay and Quinyon Mitchell. It's not going to happen. You can't throw the football over the middle of the field because you're either going to get one of two things. You're either going to get knocked out by Zach Bond and the Kobe Dean, and we haven't even talked about them yet, or you're getting picked off because our safeties, yes, Dennis, safeties, I know he's flying, I know he's going home from Philly this morning, safeties are playmakers. 10 interceptions from our starting safeties this year. 6 from CJ, 4 from Reed Blankenship. So with the Eagles, always has been attack the slot. You can't do that anymore. There's nowhere in that secondary you're going to consistently keep attacking.
Yeah. The one thing we always say, they don't get beat deep. They don't do it. They got beat deep, I think, once against Washington.
Yeah.
And then they got beat deep like once or twice against Dallas. And those were the highlights of their entire night.
Yeah. But the fact that this defense went from the worst defense in football, old, unathletic, slow, and now it is this juggernaut unit that, by the way, will be here for a long time because it is a young defense. If you just look around at the freaking position, look at your defensive line, right? Nolan Smith, what a second year. Remember all last year? Oh, we drafted Nolan Smith over Brian, and we didn't take Brian Branch. Well, who's laughing now? Brian Branch is a hell of a player. Zolt will accommodate that. Brian Branch is a hell of a player. But Nolan Smith, and since Brandon Graham went down, has been amazing. I am a little mad about the interception that he dropped yesterday.
He's a pass rusher for a reason.
He is. But Nolan Smith has like the 17th best pass rush win rate in the league. The guy's in his second year, and he barely played last year. Nolan Smith has been okay. What was the one thing that I said? I couldn't believe the Eagles picked Josh Sweat over Hassan Reddick. I don't know if anyone's seen the numbers, but Howie looks like he was smarter than everybody again.
Yep, definitely. And I credit it mostly to Vic Fangio. I still, there's still some gripes with Sweat on finishing tackles. But what Fangio has done with him to play him to his strengths more than his weaknesses, he's getting a career
quarterback. That's what he tells them. Just go get the damn quarterback. That's what we're paying you for.
Anthony, I'm going to need some more clarification from that comment because I'm taking the Eagles any day over the Rams.
Oh, I ain't afraid. If the Rams the
Eagles already played that same Rams team in LA, and they handled them. With Puka Nacua, with Cooper Kupp. Everyone was healthy. They handled them.
Now, but no, I wasn't saying about what Sweat's done under Fangio. I'm talking about Hassan Reddick only having a half a sack on the season.
Yeah, well, he missed how many games too? And he's on the Jets. And I think he started playing when Saleh was already fired.
No, I don't care. Look, I don't care you're on the Jets. You did that to yourself. You chose to hold out. You chose to do that. You chose not to be ready for the season. That's your problem then. That ain't mine.
Yeah.
You could have came here and played out your contract, and even if you don't get re-signed here, you're going to get paid if you have another double-digit sack season. You chose to sit out and act like that. That's your problem, bud, not mine. And not only with him not being here, we were concerned about the edge rushers, but when Brandon Graham went down in that Rams game, I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be rough now. They have been fine. Josh Sweat has been fine. Nolan Smith has been fine. But do you know why the edge rushers haven't been killing it since BG went down? But do you know what helps them?
What helps Carter tearing it up in the middle?
It's not just him. It's him. It's Milton Williams. It's Morrow Jamo. Kid's a 7th rounder, and he's blowing guys off the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And what about the play of Jalen Hunt? No one expected him to play this. Jalen Hunt has been a pass rusher now for 2 years of his football life. He was a safety 2 years ago, and even if he's not there yet as an edge rusher, look what he does against the run, just with containment. He is well above where he should be. The Eagles' edge rushers may have a bunch of really good role-playing edge rushers. They're missing that one big guy, and they're going to find it. And when they do, this is a complete defense. I mean, your oldest player on your defense is Darius Slay. No offense to BG, but BG's hurt.
Yeah, BG's
like
hurt.
Darius Slay, and even Darius Slay, at that age, he's playing great football, and I have to eat a lot of crow because I've been on Darius Slay's case for 2 years now.
Me too.
And he has emerged as still one of the best corners in football, even without making the plays. Because I have never seen a bizarre year where no corners have a pick, but everyone else on the damn defense does. Nolan Smith almost has more interceptions than our corners. And then, of course, Tyler, we could talk. I'll let you talk about your boy, Quinyon Mitchell.
Oh, man. So, Quinyon easily played one of his worst games of the year so far, and he still played great. I don't know if that sums it up and puts it into perspective well enough, but I mean, he's phenomenal. He gave up what? Three catches, and only on one of them he got beat deep, and it was a really good throw.
Even the touchdown, good throw. Culver made a good play.
Great throw.
Guys,
if you actually go back and watch it, Quinyon tipped it. He got his hand in and tipped it at the last second, but it didn't deflect it enough to affect anything.
Yeah.
But he actually got in on that play too. It was just a great throw and great focus on the wide receiver for following through with it. But man, this defense, every level of it, I'm not worried.
No. And now we've talked about the secondary. CJ is doing exactly what he did when he left here the first time. Ball hawking playmaker. Reed Blankenship, playmaker. Quinyon, shutdown corner of the future. Darius Slay, current shutdown corner. Easily the best corner duo in the league right now. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean, add him into that mix. Defensive line, we've talked about the edge rushers, the interior guys. Jalen Carter's made up a lot for BG's absence. And, we were concerned this coming into the year. No Fletcher Cox, no Jason Kelsey. The leaders were starting to call it a career. These boys are playing.
They are.
But now we have got to talk real quick about what this linebacker duo has been. Because that linebacker duo, we were so concerned. Remember, we were on Birds that night. Talk about Barkley and Bryce Huff. And, the Eagles signed some special teams linebacker. What's his name? Zach Bowen. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember when you told me, and I was like, whatever. Special teams for the Saints, all right, he's a depth piece.
Well, little did we know. Vic Fangio had some plans. You pull up Bowen's stats?
Yeah.
I'll pull up Dean.
93 solo tackles, tied for second in the not tied. He is second in the league. 3.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, 1 interception. So he's second in the league in forced fumbles and solo tackles. Not to mention he also put up an interception and 3.5 sacks. As a predominantly coverage linebacker, 3.5 sacks.
And then,
which is more sacks than Bryce Huff.
No comment. Then, if you look at Nakobe Dean, 128 total tackles, 3 sacks, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. Nakobe Dean we were asking, will he even be on the roster this year? And Vic Fangio has turned our linebacking duo into one of the biggest strengths of a defense that we have not seen in decades in this city.
Yeah.
Clint saying, once again, I had this up there earlier, saying shout out to the defense. It helped him win his chip. You're welcome, Clint. All right. Here we go. Nothing is going to happen.
I'm going to keep this simple. It would take a blowout loss for anybody to consider firing Nick Sirianni.
All right. Let me just real quickly. Okay.
Pull up the last 3 years, Sam.
Oh no, I got something better for you.
Oh.
regular season wins since 2020. Chiefs 66, Bills 61, Green Bay 54, Ravens 53, Eagles 51. Subtract 2020, the Eagles have 47 because they only won 4 games in 2020.
Yeah.
Hey, I got one better for you. 47 wins in his first 4 seasons as head coach. The second most in NFL history behind George Seifert. Coaches a team with a 2,000-yard rusher and helped put together a team after last year collapsing to going from 10-1 to 11-6. Now has them back to 13-3, and is only and our favorites, one of the top 2 favorites in the NFC.
All right, Zolt. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I hope Ben Johnson takes the Bears job.
Why? Why would you do that to him?
How dare he? Just because.
But no. Nick Sirianni is not getting fired.
And yes,
Nick Sirianni has earned to be the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes. And piggybacking what you said, for him to be able to keep this team motivated and to not lose the locker room after that downward spiral of last year. And just looking at the success that he's had, yeah, we're always on top of him. We're Philadelphia Eagles fans. We're on top of everybody.
Yep.
We'll call you out. We'll bite your kneecaps off.
Throw cheesesteaks at you.
Throw cheesesteaks at you. But at the end of the day, you got to recognize that I think he is. Yeah. Hey, it's an iffy job there to want to take.
It's not iffy. I ain't doing it. Let me just say this. I understand winning is measured highly in this city. I understand that. Nick Sirianni has already got a better record than the guy who won you a damn Super Bowl. Just think of this. Doug Peterson never won 10 games again in Philadelphia after that year. Now, yes, Nick didn't win that Super Bowl. That doesn't mean they're not going to get back to it. Nick Sirianni, regardless of his antics, first year, 9-8, got to the playoffs when you didn't even deserve to be in the damn thing. Year 2, 14-3, NFC champion. Next year, 11-6. Yes, you had the meltdown at the end. 11-6. You get eliminated by the Bucs. Your defense was terrible. Your offense was brutalized by injuries. A.J. Brown didn't play. Your Brian Johnson was an idiot. We know what happened. But I'm all for how do you respond from that? They're not playing like last year again. Tyler, you made a mistake. You done did it.
Oh, I know that. I know that's Dan Campbell's job.
But that's how, everyone talks about that. How do you respond from that type of guy? And all he's done this year has put this team back in a position to be an NFC contender.
Yeah.
You can hate Nick Sirianni's antics all you want, but the guy wins. You can hate him all you want.
He does. I'll tell you what, Giants fans would kill for an 11-6 season.
Yeah. So for all the people that don't like Nick Sirianni, I'm sorry that my team wins and yours doesn't. Okay?
It's valid.
There's nothing that's getting Nick Sirianni fired after this year. So we can knock that crap off. We can put that to bed for a year. Well, now, one more thing before we move on to the show, because we are an hour in with all this Eagles talk. Somebody who needs a lot of recognition for this year is Howie Roseman. Because what a offseason he had. Saquon Barkley, 2,000 rushing yards. Zach Bond, best middle linebacker in football this year. This year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say all time or anything. This year. Guy has 150 total tackles. Let's think. Drafted Quinyon Mitchell, shutdown corner of the future, and he's already a stud. Drafted Cooper DeJean, already a stud. But can we talk about the acquisition of Mekhi Becton for a minute, please? And how big he has played? Literally, how big he's played? That is a large human being.
My man needs an in-season extension. Well,
Howie said they're not doing it because they're keeping the focus on what the mission is. They will handle all this stuff at the end of the season. Which, by the way, everybody else can walk. The first three guys that get signed, Milton Williams, Zach Bond, Mekhi Becton. That's it. Everyone else I can replace. Those three need to be brought back. And Bond needs to be brought back for Nakobe Dean just as much.
Yeah.
Even though, I know how good Bond has been. Nakobe Dean's a signal caller.
He is.
Bond doesn't call those signals. It's Dean. But, yeah, I just wanted to point that out real quick with Howie Roseman, what a great offseason that he put together with this team. And I never would have thought Mekhi Becton would be our starting right guard.
Yeah. Never would have guessed it.
Because it's been a rotating door since 2022. Deamalo, last year with Cam Jurgens. And then you're sitting like, all right, well, Tyler Steen's going to be the favorite, second-round draft pick. And then you're like, all right, Mekhi Becton, swing tackle. But then you're hearing, Mekhi Becton's getting first-team reps at right guard. You're like,
All right, Stoutland.
Okay, Stoutland. And, then you hear the reports early on, he's throwing up at practice. He's like, oh, my God, this guy's trying to kill me. And, you saw Mekhi Becton yesterday. He's walking off the field in tears. Mekhi Becton was about to retire, I think.
He couldn't yet because he couldn't stay healthy. Granted, when you're playing on that turf all them years for the New York Jets, I can't blame you.
Hey, Saquon's not the only guy we saved.
Oh, yeah. We saved two people from MetLife. Just think about that. It's a miracle.
A miracle of the Meadowlands, except this is a bigger miracle.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he brought back C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who is proven that he was the heart and soul of that defense 2 years ago, and he's brought it right back to this year. They have an attitude. It's been great. Clint said, if the Jets affect people leaving the Jets to be better.
Yeah.
Look at them. Damn it, Clint. But no, hour in, Eagles are NFC East champs. Tons of credit to go around. Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, and we haven't even talked about Jalen.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Jalen had as good of a season as he did in 2022. I think his 2022 season was a little bit better, but
I think people are they're underrating him for this season this year. Yes, on paper the stats don't stand out to you, but what he's done in leading that offense, and also another thing that he's greatly improved on is how he had to take over, being able to read the defense, which a lot of people like to say he can't do. He actually has to read the defense, and he's the one who makes those adjustments at the line.
Yeah. And again, I don't care what stats are misleading. You know what I care about at the end of the day? Wins and losses. I don't care about stats. Now, granted, you can't early in the season, you could not do what Jalen was doing. You can't be turning the football over 2-3 times a game.
Now, granted, some of them were kind of wild.
I understand that. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to go back to September with you, okay? The only team that or you could be like the Commanders and somehow turn the football over 5 times and still drop 36. But when Jalen Hurts figured everything out in his head, got the cobwebs out, got back to what he was doing well, using his legs more, short, efficient throws, cutting the pass attempts down, not making a lot of erratic throws to try to be the hero all the time, got the football out quick, that's when everything turned around. Jalen Hurts played a very good quarterback this year, and that is why the Eagles are the NFC East champions. That's just that.
Yep.
But we've been talking for Eagles football for basically an hour, and we've been talking about Ben Johnson in the comments for like an hour, so I think it's time to move on to our next topic. Playoff picture. The AFC is basically set, right?
I think the Bengals still have a shot.
Well, there's one spot left. You want to pull it up real quick? See, you pull up the AFC playoff picture. Because I know the Colts are now eliminated. The Colts are out because of yesterday. Speaking Colts of that, what do you think? What does that do for Shane Steichen?
Shane Steichen, huh?
Jalen Hurts is way more mature than Kyler Murray. No, George, I know that. I'm saying that there's one spot for 3 teams. Denver, Cincy, and Miami.
Yep.
Because the Colts got themselves eliminated. I don't know. I mean, let's look at those 3 teams for next week. Let's see what we got. I got the schedule. So the Bengals are playing Pittsburgh on Saturday. Oh, here we go. All right, so we got both of them up here. Okay.
So let's look at you want to look at who's in the hunt, or you want to go start from the top, work our way down?
Well, we'll start with the AFC. I don't give a damn about the number 1. Screw them. Those guys.
The worst 15.
Bills number 2, Ravens. The Texans are easily the most overrated top 4 seed in the NFL.
Texans are. I think Texans get bounced first round.
They're
going to be playing the Ravens, right?
Oh, they're good. Well, I'll tell you now.
Or no, not the Ravens. The Chargers. Oh yeah, they're losing to the Chargers.
I think the Chargers are better than the 2 teams ahead of them.
Yes, I think they're also hotter than the Steelers.
They are.
Texans.
100%. Oh, the Steelers are having their Eagles moment from last year. They are completely falling apart. They lost the lead. They lost the division because of that.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at Ravens are going to match up against the Steelers,
and it doesn't. And now look, the Steelers next week. Georgie just put it right here.
Yeah. Wow.
The Steelers are playing a hot Bengals team. The Dolphins. Oh man, the Dolphins actually may get in this shit.
Wow.
But then the Broncos are playing the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are going to rest everybody.
Oh yeah, the 4-5. Okay, yeah, 4-5, 3-6. Yeah.
So I got to watch the debacling teams play each other. Lovely.
Wow. Who comes out on top in that?
Well, okay. So the Bengals have to beat the Steelers, which they're in a catastrophe.
Possible. Broncos have
the Broncos. Go ahead.
Oh no, what's the other stipulation? Because I know that. The Broncos have to lose.
The Broncos have to beat. Well, hold on. All right, let me get this on track here. The Bengals have to beat the Steelers. But for the other 2 teams, the Dolphins have to beat Aaron Rodgers, and the Broncos have to beat Carson Wentz. Just think of that for a second. Carson Wentz will be starting an NFL game for the Chiefs on Sunday.
Wow.
So, I don't know. And the Dolphins do not have Tua, it looks like. It looks like he's going to miss another game. So,
yeah.
Anthony said Denver might make it. Chiefs sitting their starters. Denver could have made it 2 weeks ago. Denver's been hurting themselves.
Yeah.
George said if Steelers lose and any team under wins, like Chargers who play the Raiders, the Chargers jump them. That is true. So the Steelers are still playing for something.
Okay.
But they're playing a hot Bengals team.
Because, yeah, I mean, hey, if the Chargers can jump to that 5 seed, that's a lot easier matchup against the Texans for the Chargers than the Ravens.
The Texans will get annihilated by the Chargers. I think the Chargers are a better team than the Texans by far.
Yeah.
What's up, Dennis? Dennis was at the game yesterday. He was there. Dalt was there. The whole crew was there. But yeah, if I'm the Texans, I don't want to play the Chargers.
No, not at all.
All right, so Tyler, prediction: who gets that final spot in the AFC?
Oh man, who gets the final spot?
No arguments here, George.
Final spot. Dang. It's likely going to be the Broncos, but I really want to see the Bengals make it in.
I want to go with the Broncos, but the Bengals are hot.
They are. So, question now. With the year that Joe Burrow's been having, we like to say that they're not going to consider, him for MVP because, his team's not playing great. They make the playoffs.
He's got to be in it.
Think he gets some more votes, some more recognition voting?
Well, he's got better numbers than Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, so.
He does.
So Anthony said Higgins is balling out for the last 2 games. Anthony, it's called I Want a Contract. He's going to make a great Charger next year. Dennis said, new year, new look. Stan does this to me, a new hairline. Dennis, I'll get a new hairline if you get a new player to hate. Bill Gold said, not sure why the Eagles can't get by if the Lions lose tonight. That they win next week, making it a 3-way tie. Well, yeah, but then again, Bill, remember, whoever loses next week's game between the Vikings and the Lions drops down to out of the top 4 because they're not a division winner. And George said, Broncos if Chiefs sit everyone, otherwise Bengals because Dolphins are going to lose to the Jets under 40 degrees. Not only that, it doesn't sound like Tua is going to play. Yeah. It doesn't sound like they're confident that Tua is playing this week. So Anthony says Denver just needs a win since he needs a win and help. That is also true. Bill said if the Steelers play the Ravens, Steelers win easily. Bill, that didn't happen last time that they played. They kind of annihilated the Steelers in Baltimore. And it would be in Baltimore again, so. I'm going to say it's the Broncos. The Chiefs are 100% resting players. Chris Jones missed their game last week. They're not playing him in a meaningless game. The Chiefs have locked up everything you need. First round, number 1 seed. They've locked up everything. So
I'm not sure if it was said or not in the comments yet, but for the Bengals to make it, they need both the Broncos and Dolphins to lose, which is totally possible with Tua not playing. But the only thing at the Broncos, it's theirs to lose.
And they're in
You're not going up against Patrick Mahomes. You're at home. Like, it's theirs to lose. I don't see the Dolphins winning.
No. And like we said again, the Chiefs, Chris Jones was already banged up last week. They're not going to play him. They're not going to play Pacheco. They're not playing Mahomes. They're not going to play anybody. So they're not going to play Kelsey. The Broncos are probably going to get this final spot. And if Bo Nix keeps playing the way he's been playing all year, then the Broncos are going to get this shot. The Bengals need a lot of help.
They do.
What do the Dolphins need to happen to get in?
Dolphins just need Denver to lose and them to win.
Okay.
So the Dolphins, it doesn't matter what the Bengals do. The Bengals could win, but if the Broncos lose and Dolphins win, they're in.
Now, Bill, I understand that the Steelers were missing key players in that last game, but however, I still don't know if I would trust the Steelers to go down into Baltimore in the playoffs and win.
Yeah.
When the Ravens are the home team in the playoffs, they answer the call on both sides of the football.
The Steelers have a chance to win the division still.
They do. But you got to win next week. And you're playing a hot Bengals team. Now, but the best part about that is both of those teams play on Saturday this week.
Oh.
So the Steelers host the Bengals at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. The Ravens have the Browns at 4:30. Congratulations, Baltimore Ravens. You are the AFC North champion. The Steelers had their chance to win their division. They blew it.
Yep.
All right, Tyler, let's move over to the NFC side of things real quick.
Let's do it.
All right, so right now we basically have a semi-tie for the 1 seed. Lions are that depends. Are the Lions going to play anybody tonight? I've heard there's rumors they may sit this week and play next week.
Really? Sit this week and play next week?
I highly doubt that would happen.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Because, I mean, people say, like, do they want to risk it against a Niners team that has nothing to play for? I'm like, you still got to win, dude.
Yeah, you have to win.
So,
with the Vikings clawing at them right now, I think they got to play. They got to play their guys tonight.
No, they don't. My fantasy championship depends on it. No, they don't.
Shut up, Sam.
All right, listen to this real quick. I'm up in my championship 100 points right now. But my opponent has Goff.
I hope he has Gibbs.
Yes. And Amon-Ra.
Oh, wow.
He's got all three of these guys.
That lead might not be so big.
I don't think so. Now, it did help me last night that Terry McLaurin got shut down by A.J. Terrell.
Yeah.
I like how Bill and George have become very good friends in this chat. You guys are the best.
Arch nemesis.
What's that about Unite fans and Ignite debate?
Oh man, now they're debating who's older. Oh no.
Oh my God. Anyway, as they argue that out. So yeah, we have basically it doesn't the NFC is all but set. The winner of next week's game is the 1 seed, the loser goes down to 5.
Pretty much. Yep.
Eagles are locked in at 2. Rams are going to be the 3, and because they're going to win their division. Commanders are sitting at 6. Can the Commanders jump? No, the Commanders can't jump any of these teams.
No,
the Packers.
No, they can only drop to the 7th seed.
Okay, Packers are sitting there at 7.
Yep.
So, and then who's in the? What do we got going after that?
After that, we have the Buccaneers are in the hunt. So, how are they in the hunt if they're leading their division? I thought all division winners.
Because if the Buccaneers lose and the Falcons win,
then they would lose their division to the Falcons.
Because the Falcons swept the Bucs.
Oh, so the Falcons would make it in then?
Yes. So
okay.
But now the Falcons did themselves no favors by losing yesterday.
Yeah. Now, granted, they tried to win. They played their ass off.
Yes. So next week now, you have this is great. You got the Falcons playing the Panthers, and the Bucs are at home against the Saints. All Tampa has to do is win. Because if Tampa wins, they've got a better record, so they're going to win their division.
Yep.
But if the Falcons win and the Bucs lose, the Bucs got swept by the Falcons. So.
Yep. So, the Bucs are in control of their destiny.
So basically, if the Bucs win, it's over.
I don't see the Buccaneers losing.
By the way, if the Falcons win, do they both have the same record if the Falcons win?
Wait,
No.
You mean if the Falcons win and they lose?
What if both teams win?
Both teams win, the Bucs are in.
Okay.
The Falcons
the
would need Tampa to lose, and they need to win.
Yeah, so the Bucs win and they're in.
Yeah. Bucs win and they're in.
Mike Evans needs 85 yards for 1,000. Let's go.
Yep. So Mike Evans is going to finish with over 100 yards receiving. Jalen McMillan's going to have another 75 yards and 2 touchdowns, and everything's going to be
Jalen McMillan is he's pretty dang good.
He is, man. Chris Godwin's better watch out for his number 2 job.
Hey, I'm okay with Chris Godwin coming here to be the wide receiver 3.
I bet you would.
Well, we're going to need one because the hot dog stinks.
Yeah, he's just not good.
In all fairness, by the way, Bryce Huff has more sacks this year than Hassan Reddick. Just saw that on Twitter.
That is ridiculous.
All right, so I also have some playoff scenarios, too, real quick, for our guys, at least. Let me go. Did I not save it? Tell me I didn't save it. All right, here we go. Eagles are locked into the 2 seed. Will host either Green Bay or Washington in the wild card round. Week 18, Commanders, Cowboys, Bears, Packers play Sunday. Washington beats Dallas. Eagles host the Packers. Green Bay loses to Chicago. Eagles host the Packers. That's it. All right, so if Washington beats Dallas, the Eagles are playing the Packers. If Green Bay loses to Chicago, the Eagles are playing the Packers. Washington loses to Dallas, plus Green Bay beats Chicago. Eagles host the Commanders. Are you? I'm ready for whoever.
Yeah, I am too.
I'll take on all coverage.
Give me the Packers. Don't matter.
Yep. I'm ready for all coverage, so bring it on. Bring on whoever you want. You got to come here first, so it don't matter.
Yep.
Shout out to Micah Parsons and his lovely line of, without the scoreboard, the game was much more close. Micah, I love you, man, but
he's been playing football his whole life, right? He realizes that the scoreboard means something, right?
George, I wouldn't compare the Packers to the Steelers. I think the Packers are good. They're inconsistent. But they're another team that runs the football a ton. Oh, Bill, I'm not. Look, I understand what the Commanders did. I get it. But you got to come back here.
Yep.
And sorry, not sorry, you're not playing Kenny Pickett for 3 quarters.
Yeah. That's the same. That was what I was going to say. Like, we saw what happened when we had a healthy Eagles lineup versus the Commanders earlier in the season. They handled them no problem.
You saw it in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It was
so exactly.
Exactly.
You saw it just from the first quarter, and then slowly, even though the defense tried 5 turnovers, they just kept going at them.
And look, I'm not saying. All right, so Bill's saying that the Pack and the Vikings are no threat. I am not agreeing with him on the Vikings. The Vikings are a threat. They are loaded from top to bottom.
I'm not scared of the Vikings.
I'm not. See, here's the thing. They're the only team that plays in cold weather that I'm not afraid of because they don't technically play in cold weather. They play in a dome. I don't know if that defense travels. I don't know if that defense travels. I know mine does. My defense travels. And again, Sam Darnold gets my defense. I want to see what happens. Because Justin Jefferson and Jordan Aston will have a long day.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you, George.
I don't think anyone disagrees.
Tanner
Even
McKee.
from preseason, man, we've always said we thought McKee was better than him.
Oh, wait, damn it. Hey, Anthony, guess what? Usually so are we. So our teams both have that.
Anthony, have you seen our team's stats?
Have you watched the Philadelphia Eagles in the first quarter this year, sir?
No, actually, that game against Washington before Hurts got hurt. Punny, I know.
Every pun intended, buddy.
We scored the most first quarter points that eclipsed our total first quarter points scored the whole season.
That's ridiculous.
Try that on for size.
Bro, George, we know you. I know you're trying to be funny. I'm okay with Kenny B behind Ian Book, but Kenny played well yesterday. He got broken ribs, dude, and he played decent. He played decent enough to win the game.
It's decent enough.
But once again, I don't care if it's the Commanders. I don't care if it's the Lions. I don't care if it's the Vikings. I don't care if it's the Packers. I am not afraid of anyone.
If I got my team out there healthy,
we're rolling.
We're chilling here.
Anybody. I trust them to win a close game. I trust them to blow someone out. I trust this team. Anthony, y'all may. Like I said, Anthony, I'm that guy. Yeah, after a loss to a team, I may be a little upset. Your team is something. You got a stud for the next 10 plus years.
As a fan of the Commanders, if you are a fan of the Commanders, I don't know how your health is going to be doing seeing all them comeback wins, because that's a lot of stress to go through week to week.
Hey, try sitting through last year's Eagles season, okay, bud?
The second half of the season.
And look, I understand, and I'm agreeing with Bill, and Bill's a Steeler fan. And I know people say, oh, we're Eagle fans. Okay, but again, this team is playing. The only team I see beating the Eagles is Detroit. That's the only team I could see beating Philly is Detroit.
Anthony, I don't think anybody is.
Anthony, they're the 1 seed, and they deserve to be the 6th. Now, I will say they have played better the past few weeks.
Yeah, Mahomes actually had like a Patrick Mahomes-esque game before he got hurt.
Wait, Anthony. What about the play? Did anyone see the play he got rolled up on yesterday? He got rolled up on yesterday on a sack. It scared the crap out of me. Yep. But and Bill's still talking about the Eagles here. If I have to go to Detroit, I'm nervous because that's Detroit. But if I have to, I'm not afraid of going to Minnesota.
Oh.
I won a Super Bowl in that building. You think I care? I'm not afraid of Minnesota. I'm just not. As long as this team has Saquon Barkley and this defense playing the way they are, that this team, we're fine. I'm chilling. I am chilling. But Tyler, anything else you want to bring up about the playoff pictures?
No, I mean it's for some teams coming down to last week, but I'm not too concerned. Eagles, either way, we got the 2 seed. It's cool with me. I'd rather not have a first round bye personally.
Yeah, keep it fresh.
Play through the gauntlet.
Anthony, to be fair, it's not that their defense isn't scary. I don't know if they have any left. Do they have any guys left?
They're very thin on people, and that's going to be the one thing. If the Lions don't make it, it's just going to be like what could have been if their team stayed healthier.
Agreed. I 100% agree with you on that. See you, Carol. Stacey's so pumped for our birds. I'm going to be on a high all week. Catch you next week. Until then, fly, Eagles, fly. Thank you, Carol.
Fly. See you, Carol.
Carol, Happy New Year, by the way, to you. See you next week. We'll be talking more birds next week. Playoffs will be right on the horizon. Let's get ready for
Monday for the new year. We'll see you then.
Tanner McKee's going to throw for 360 on Sunday against the Giants.
Oh, God.
The Giants have screwed their number one pickup. Let's go beat them now. See you later, Bill. Thanks for tuning in with us. Thanks for sparking our comments with George. You guys crack me up. Carol says Happy New Year to us. Oh, thanks, Carol.
Thank you, Carol. Which guy?
Yeah. Abdul.
Oh, Abdul. I mean, dude, he heated up the second half of that season for Penn State.
Warren and Abdul Carter are both projected to be top 20 picks. Sorry, Tyler.
Ooh. But wait, Warren could still be a possibility.
Oh, no. What if he goes to Dallas?
Oh, my gosh. Just like how when Dallas wanted to draft Dallas Goedert, now they're going to take
No. What if he goes to Washington?
Oh, please, no.
I do not need Tyler Warren and Jaden Daniels together.
I don't need Tyler Warren lining up as a running back next to Jaden Daniels. I don't know what play they're going to run. I don't need to see that.
I don't know who's taking the snap.
Sam, I can't believe you just said that. Can't believe you just breathed it in.
Why do I feel like we're going to have like 12 people on our draft show this year?
It's going to be a draft party.
It's going to be a draft party. There you go. Oh, my God. All right. Anyway, let's move on to some college football talk. There's a lot to talk about in terms of college football. So, first off, I just want to bring up a couple bowl games real quick. Just two. Number one, Miami lost the Pop-Tart Bowl, damn it. They lost 42-41.
Oh, man.
Now, in that game, Miami quarterback Cam Ward played the first half, then was pulled out of the game in the second half. In the first half, he was 12 for 19 for 190 yards, and then pulled out of the second half, I'm assuming for draft purposes. Tyler, do you have any issue with Cam Ward being pulled out of the second half of that game?
It's tough. So, did they say whose decision it was? Was it his decision? Was it the coach's decision?
I heard it was his. Because here's the thing, right? If I'm the coach, I'm not going to the draft.
Yeah. I mean, why pull yourself out of a game if you knew that you wanted to keep yourself healthy? Why didn't you just say you didn't want to play the game? Why start the game and not finish?
Because teams have been under fire for that because of guys not playing in bowl games. So
you saw now. Granted, we all have our thoughts and opinions on Colorado. Did you see what they did? They guaranteed all their players that if they got injured during it, they were going to have some sort of insurance protection.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. When he was hired, Deion said, "Oh, my guys are playing those games." That's the one thing. I can't stand Colorado. I respect Deion for that because I'm tired of bowl games where guys don't play. But if I'm Cam Ward, he wanted the record for the FBS touchdown record, which he got, but
he got it, and then he was like, "All right, I'm done."
Yeah, if I'm a team, I'm picking. Oh man, Cam Ward I don't know if I'm picking that now. I don't know if I'm picking a guy who takes stuff out of games like that. If I'm the, I mean, he'd make a great. What?
He's another. Oh gosh,
Richardson.
Another Richardson.
Well, hey, they both played at Florida schools, so. I mean, Richardson was a Gator, but still close. But I personally don't like it at all. I think it's classless. I think if you're not going to play, just don't play. You know, there are guys on that team that they're not going to make it to the NFL. They're not going to go top 5 in the draft. That may be their biggest game of their lives. Not to mention, they're playing for a freaking football trophy that's a real poster. Have you seen that thing?
Yes, I've seen it. It's ridiculous.
Go back and watch Go back and watch Dueling Aces with me and George and Bruiser last week.
I was
by the
on
way,
there when you guys were talking about it.
Oh, okay. That thing, I want it. I will buy 5 of them. One in my bedroom, one in my living room, one in my dining room, I'll get when I have a car, I'll get one in my car. Pop-Tart all day.
Sam's going to have the Pop-Tart mobile.
I'll have a Pop-Tart diet.
You're going to need a lot of milk for that.
Shut up. Anthony says Shedeur Sanders playing in the bowl game, playing like Daniel Jones. Cam Ward will be a better pick than Sanders. Anthony, once again, we don't disagree because we said that too.
Yeah, I still think Cam Ward obviously is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. Is one guy maybe more dedicated than the other? Maybe.
Maybe.
Then again, it's not like Shedeur had a choice.
That is true. Now, speaking of Colorado, I'm just going to leave this here. If you're going to boast about what national attention, could you at least play like it?
True.
I mean, they were absolutely boat raced by BYU over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I've had to hear this whole time how good Colorado is. They ain't still look so damn good to me.
Nope. BYU's legit. They really are. Honestly, a team I would have liked to see in the college football playoffs.
Anthony, he did make it. Shedeur did not play well in that game. But no, they should have beat BYU. They have the reigning Heisman.
I've always had my opinions on Shedeur Sanders. I don't think he's going to be a NFL franchise quarterback. Just don't see it.
I think he'll be a good player, not a great player. I think he's good. I don't know if he's great. I think him and Travis are both very fine players, but they get a lot of media hype because of who Deion is. And
I see Travis Hunter having a way more successful career.
I agree. Just so everyone knows this. So the past 2 seasons for Colorado, 0-6 versus top 25 teams, 2-9 versus power conference teams with at least a 500 record.
Nice.
Tons of smack talk to opponents, cool chains and sunglasses worn. So yeah, nice. That's their record over the past 2 years. All that boasting, and they don't back it up.
They don't back it up. It is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Man, we're running through this show. We want to bring up the college football playoff bracket for round 2, and we'll call it a night after that.
Get that up.
Yeah, I got no words for Colorado. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, we know Shedeur's going to the league. What happens with Deion? Does he stay? Does he look for a job in the NFL somewhere? Who knows?
Who knows? All right, let's see. Let me get this up here. Let's do this, that.
All right. So let's talk about some college football playoff. Now, as we all know, the first round was utterly embarrassing.
Yes, it was.
And now here we are sitting here for round 2. Now, for anyone that didn't realize it, here you go. Oregon, Ohio State, Arizona State, Texas, Penn State, Boise State, Georgia, Notre Dame.
So let's start with the top left. We got it, right? The rematch.
I really, really do not feel good about this game.
What do you feel like is going to happen?
I think Ohio State's got something to play for. Like, they are pissed.
They do.
They got what happened the first time.
Yeah. They lost, what was it, 3-point loss?
Yeah, all because Will Howard is split in the middle of the field.
Yeah. So, it was a tough loss. I mean, they're 2 very good teams. that's going to be the game to watch.
When's that game? New Year's Day?
That one is New Year's Day, 5 p.m. Kind of surprised they didn't make it the night game.
Honestly, how do you
8:45,
not make that the night game? None of these other games are going to be entertaining as that one.
No. The second closest could have been Georgia Notre Dame, but Georgia might not be playing up to their strength.
Which is?
Even though Carson Beck's not that great of a quarterback, I mean, he still was their starting quarterback. I know he's not playing, but he was still their starting quarterback. That's my point.
Yeah, fair enough. Stockton moves the ball on offense better than him anyway in that SEC title game, but I get your point.
So we'll see. I'll take the underdog card for him. But
I think the two games that'll be the closest in these four are going to be the Ohio State, Oregon, and Boise State and Penn State's an interesting one, man. It's a toss-up.
It is, because, I don't know, am I going to see, an offensive shootout? Am I going to see some defense out of the game?
You're going to see a hell lot of rushing yards, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
I mean, Ashton Genty on one side, Kaytron Allen and Nick Singleton on the other. That's going to come down to if Drew Aller can play. Can Drew Aller play this week? And can he play consistently? Because he is. Because he really did struggle in that game against SMU. I understand people are like, oh, it was SMU. He struggled. They literally had 14 points off of their linebackers getting picked. So, Drew Aller wants to win that game. He has got to play a lot better. I will say I'm disappointed that this game's not at Boise State because I wanted to play on the blue field.
Maybe you can Penn State can get Boise on their schedule next year.
Yeah, right. All right, so now are we prepared to get into the predictions, or do we have any other thoughts real quick?
No, I mean, I think that Texas game is already decided.
Don't even care about that game.
That kid they got at running back, Scativo, I think he's very good. I think he's going to be an NFL running back.
They've got two running backs that are really good.
I just don't think they got enough.
Anthony said, I bet Eric Bieniemy is mad that he left the Chiefs. He should have stayed. He should have.
Oh, man, yeah.
It's another McDaniel. If you would have just stayed, when Andy retires one day, you're probably the first guy to get the job.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be Matt Nagy.
Oh, gosh, Matt Nagy.
I've heard his name come up in head coaching searches again. I don't know why.
Teams are just stupid.
Fair. All right, so where do you want to start off here? What game do we want to predict first?
Ohio State, Oregon.
All right, well, then who do you got?
You know what? I'm going to be the guy sticking with Oregon. They have great quarterback play out of Dylan Gabriel. He's just so consistent the whole year. I don't know if he's actually played a bad game.
Maybe Wisconsin.
I can try and pull that up.
But Wisconsin plays everybody tough.
So let's see. Worst game was 2 interceptions against Michigan State. And he still threw for 257, 2 touchdowns. And they beat him handily. So, other than that, now Wisconsin, he had 1 interception, no touchdowns, still 71% completion percentage, 218 passing yards. He completes his passes at a very high rate. He has a 73 completion percentage on the year, 28 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So I just think with the consistency that they play offensively, and I mean, they have a solid enough defense, I think they'll get it done.
I am also going to stick with you. I'm going to stick with Oregon. Oh, the reason I said about teams to beat Oregon, you got to run the football. But Ohio State, they are dependent on their speed at wide receiver. I don't like that matchup because I said this about Penn State. You don't want to get into a shootout with the Ducks because it's not going to go in your favor.
Yep.
I'm going Oregon. Anthony said I'm rooting for anybody but the Cowboys to draft Ashton Genty and Anthony.
Yes, please.
Tyler. Ashton Genty goes to Dallas. Kyler Warren goes to Washington. What are you doing right now?
I'm not watching football.
All right, then. Relax over there, bud. That would be a Cowboys pick, though. That will be a total Cowboys pick, though. Do we agree? That's a Cowboys pick.
It is a Cowboys pick. And I don't want it to be a Cowboys pick.
Anyway. All right, so we're both rolling with Oregon here, huh?
Yep. Go Ducks.
All right. Can we just get this bottom one out of the way? It's Texas.
Yep.
Arizona State did not deserve that bye.
They didn't.
Give me Texas. Texas runs the football like men, like grown men. They got two great running backs. They dominated Clemson by running the football. As long as Quinn Ewers doesn't completely crap the bed, it's Texas. Come on.
Yep.
All right. Now let's go over here. Let's go Penn State, Boise State next.
Penn State, Boise State. Oh, man. Give me Penn State. I know you like to bet against your team every single time, but I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think Penn State's going to do just enough to win. You know why? Because you guys still got a better defense than Boise State. Boise State is Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty does not play defense.
No. But once again, I have to trust Drew Aller to play consistently. I have to trust James Franklin to coach a good game plan. The one way Penn State can win is they keep Ashton Genty off the field. Yeah. And they are the team that is capable of doing that with Nicholas Singleton, with Katron Allen, because they're running backs, they complement each other. Singleton's your home run hitter. Allen is your ground and pound guy. Get you 5 yards, 6 yards, moves the chains every time. But when you want to break one off, that's Nick Singleton. And, of course, you still have Tyler Warren. And, my God, can I just get one damn wide receiver to make a fucking play?
Hey, maybe your wide receivers will actually catch the ball.
Can Kyron Hudson play now? Do I got to wait till next year? Can he play now? Oh, I hate this freaking crap.
Forge the transfer papers.
Yeah, I think we have some wide receivers coming in next year from the portal. I'm excited for next year. But as long as Tyler Warren will be involved in the game enough, and as long as the wide receivers do something, Trey Wallace, which that's basically all they have, as long as they can run the football effectively, and as long as that defense can hold Boise State down enough, I think they could win. But because of there's just so much inconsistencies with Penn State, I'm going Boise State. I have to. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised, but I got to be real. I have watched this team every game. I love them, but you know my thoughts. I'm going to go with Boise State here.
Sam's just a Penn State hater.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. I'm a Penn State fan. I'm a hater. Oh, my God.
Hey, man, we got a lot of Eagles fans that are haters.
Well, no, we have a lot of Eagle fans that are stupid, but that's another story for another day. And now we move on to the final game, Georgia, Notre Dame.
Oh, it's tough, man.
Can I go first here?
Go on.
Give me Notre Dame.
Oh, okay.
This game is going to come down to whose offense makes enough plays, and I don't trust Georgia's offense to make those plays. I think Riley Leonard and Notre Dame's offense can make enough plays. Notre Dame's defense is ridiculous. Now, granted, so is Georgia. Georgia's defense is really good. But I think it's going to come. Yes. That's why they won. That's the only two games that Texas has played bad all year was against Georgia because their defense is that good. Now, George and I, we kind of agree here. He thinks Georgia's a bunch of frauds. I agree with them that they are offensively. With Carson Beck, they were terrible. I don't know if Stockton will do enough to win in this game.
As far as their pass game goes, they are frauds. I really do like the run game, though. If they can get that going.
Yeah, good luck with that against Notre Dame's defense.
Yeah, that's the only tough part.
Because Notre Dame, I'll tell you right now, that defense just flies around the field and hits you. They've got a bunch of talent. And
you know what?
I'll tell you right now, in what is a weak quarterback class, I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of NFL execs. They like Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard may be that guy this year. That's like right situation. Could be like Bo Nix. Put him in the right spot. And he could maybe do some things.
You know who I got?
So, go ahead.
You know, I think there's going to be some luck of the Irish in the air. And I think that kid Stockton's going to shock everybody. And I think Georgia's going to pull off the upset. Even though they are seated higher, it's going to be an upset because no one's giving them a shot. It's the only upset I'm picking in this quarterfinals here.
No, you're not. You're picking Penn State to beat Boise State.
Come on. You cannot tell me that Penn State is an underdog to Boise State. I get it. Ashton-Shanty's great.
James Franklin has lost every big game he's ever coached at Penn State.
He beat SMU.
Okay, yes, that's great. But still, Ashton-Shanty is a monster. You think I want Penn State to lose? If Penn State gets to the point where we are eliminated in the next round by Notre Dame or Georgia, I am perfectly okay with that. But I have got to trust my offense to do enough against Boise State. Boise State's not SMU. They actually move the football. I think Penn State has the better team on paper. But I don't trust James Franklin still. Now look, if this ends on tomorrow night, I'm okay with how the season went. If it ends next round, I'm ecstatic. Never would I thought Penn State would have got that far if they beat Boise State. Okay. We're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah. Okay, wait much longer.
So for my Final Four, it will be Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame, Boise State.
I got Oregon, Texas, Georgia, and we are.
I got what Penn. You want me to make me watch Penn State against a Kirby Smart defense? You really do hate me.
There's your big game.
Oh God, don't get me started. Well, you got anything else you want to talk about?
Did we miss anything?
I think we knocked it all out of the park. Cam Ward talked the college playoff, talked the Eagles clinch in the East, talked some NFL playoff.
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to add?
No, that's about it. Aside from Joe Burrow, hopefully getting his way back into the MVP conversation.
Yeah, we could do some awards predictions next week for that. We do already have a nice little rankings thing we're doing for next week, so we'll have to balance some of that stuff out. But I hope we did Tony proud tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's going to put on a wrap for 609 Sports Talk in 2024, guys. So before we leave, I would just like to say from the bottom of my heart, and then I will let Tyler, if you have anything else you want to add, feel free. I just want to say that, a year ago this time, we had shut down for a few months already, and I didn't think we'd come back to this. I didn't really have the joy to do it anymore for a while, and then once upon a time, we started doing birds, did that for a few months, and then I missed this more than anything. I missed the Universal Sports Talk because of how much our fan base is just all over the place in terms of teams. Yeah. But I do want to say that from the bottom of my heart, and real quickly, Georgie's saying about Barkley, MVP hands down. He is only the 9th player to hit 2K. Screw Lamar.
I agree. I'd love to see it. I just don't know if the NFL is going to be able to go away from their pattern of quarterback.
George would like to just point out he knew that we were coming back. Thank you, George. Well, George, you're the first person I want to thank, because if it weren't for you, countless intros and outros and backgrounds and all this great stuff that you've done for us. Which, by the way, guys, if you ever want to start podcasting, vidcasting, you ever need logos or anything, stuff like that done, go check out. Go get in touch with George. If you need to get in touch with a guy, come to me. I'll put you in touch. Guy, George does great work. He did all my 609 stuff, all of our bird stuff. He did my hitting home stuff. If you ever need anything like that done, George is the guy to go to.
Oh, Anthony, we could definitely get you in there.
You know what, Anthony? Yeah, we're going to have you on the draft show this year. We're always welcoming the fans in. I want to have all the fans on. I want to have 20 people. Maybe not 20. But Anthony, since you're Anthony, since you're here, you're an OG supporter. You've been tuning in the 609 since last year when we were still doing the studio shows. I want to thank you. Your comments are always fun, intriguing. They're always sparking a conversation or a debate. And
his predictions always seem to be accurate.
Yeah, Anthony's very scary actor with predictions, and it kind of scares me. But I want to just thank everybody who came back with us when we came back in August. Thank you for always supporting us. Thank you for never going away from us. We appreciate your guys' support, and I can name all of you, but I'll be here for 20 years. There's so many people we can thank for this. You guys help make the shows with comments, engagements, all that good stuff. And we wouldn't have great shows like this without you guys. And like I said, all of our followers that have been here since day one, all the ones that were with us this around last year in 2023, all the new ones we had this year, like Carol, Alyssa, and just all of you guys make this fun for us every Monday night. You welcome us into your homes. You talk with us. And we appreciate every single one of you guys. So, Tyler, if you got anything else to add, go right ahead.
I mean, geez, you just had to say it all, didn't you? But yeah, we appreciate everybody, all the fans, all the supporters over the years. It's been quite the journey so far, and we're only getting started.
Absolutely. 2024 was the comeback. 2025 is the year that we put the foot back on the gas. So, guys, thank you all for joining us on what was episode 24 of 609 Sports Talk to end 2024. And episode 25 will be the beginning of 2025. So, Look at that. So, guys, thank you all for joining us tonight on this episode of 609 Sports Talk. We hope you all enjoyed tonight's episode. If you didn't get a chance to watch it live, you can always go back on our Facebook and YouTube channel and go watch it there. And guys, always, if you can, please hit that like on Facebook. Please hit that subscribe on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. We love every single one of you. We hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and we hope you all have a safe and Happy New Year. So, for the last time in 2024, we're going to get up on out of here. Have a safe holiday tomorrow, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you guys in a year.
Yeah, see you in a year.
See you in a year. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.